All right, today we are going to be looking at our Chapter 16 Veggie notes. If you look at the screen, it does look a little bit different than the notes I have handed you, but I will follow along with yours and kind of let you know what you need to fill in. I'm also going to do this in a couple different parts to make sure that we can get all of it uploaded. All right, so to start off with, number one is asking you, what is a vegetable? And it is the part or parts of the plant that can be eaten. Literally anything that's part of the plant that can be eaten can be classified as a vegetable. Your second thing is asking you, how do we actually classify vegetables? And you'll see that there are several different ways. On your screen right now, you can only see three, but I'll go ahead and list them all and we'll cover them one by one. Letter A on number 2, the first way to classify veggies is as a part of the plant. A part of the plant. B is going to be by flavor. C is going to be by nutritional content. D is going to be by color, and E is going to be by family. And we'll talk about each of those individually now as we go through. So first of all, we'll look at the different parts of the plant. There's actually 8 parts of the plant. There's only listed 7 on the screen, so listen carefully for that 8th part. But the 8 parts are the seed, which would be like a corn or beans, leaves, lettuce, cabbage, spinach, that counts, tuber, which is the potato family, a root, carrot would be an example, a flower, broccoli, cauliflower, those parts you eat are even called florets, a bulb, which is like an onion, a stem, which would be like celery or rhubarb, and the last one that's not listed is the fruit. And we talked about that already, that remember anything that contains seeds is the fruit of the plant. So peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, those are all fruits of the plant. All right, well, you move on. That was number 3, where we looked at the 8 parts. Number 4 is asking, how can you classify fruits by flavor? And you'll see on the screen that they are either grouped 2 ways, 1 by strong or 2 by mild. Now, your question on your notes is asking you to list those 2 and give examples. I ask that you get 2 examples for each. Strong examples are Brussels sprouts, turnips, garlic. I actually don't agree with our textbook that cauliflower is strong flavored, but maybe you do. Let's see, onions should be on there. And mild things would be like corn, cauliflower. I don't really know, again, that all other veggies would go in this category. So how about you put 2 strong and you put 2 mild veggies that are based on your taste. Okay, everyone's taste buds are a little bit different. All right, let's move on to the next way to classify veggies. We're going to look at nutritional content. Okay, first thing that you need for number 5 is the part of the plant the veggie comes from is what influences the nutritional content. Okay, whether it's a seed or a tuber or a root, that's going to influence the nutritional content. So for 6 and 7, we're going to kind of break down what that means. And the first thing for number 6 is asking what veggies or what part of the plant are vegetables that have a high water content, which means they would then have a low starch or carb content. So those 4 parts, there's actually 4. There's only 3 on your screen, so listen again for the 4th. Stem, flower, leaf, and the 4th is fruit. Stem, flower, leaf, and fruit. So these are the 4 with a high water content, not a high starch. This means they would also have a lower calorie content. Now you need an example for each of those 4 parts. So an example of a stem would be like a celery or a rhubarb. An example of a flower is like broccoli or cauliflower. Leaf is like lettuce or spinach. And then the fruit, again, is like tomato or cucumber. And if you think about it, think about when you bite into those things, you can notice that they have a high water content, okay, and like a high crunch content to them. Okay, for number 7, the ones that on the opposite side have a high starch or carb content, which means low water. And again, these are going to be a little higher in calorie. These 4 parts are a tuber, bulb, root, and seed. Tuber, bulb, root, and seed. So examples of each of those, remember you need examples, our tuber would be like a potato, a bulb would be like an onion or garlic again. A root is like a carrot, and a seed is like corn or beans. Now, you notice when you cut things like onions or garlic, you've probably noticed the stickiness that gets on your fingers. That's the starch in there. Carrots, okay, the sweetness, that comes from a sugar. That's a starch. Potatoes, we know those are a high starch. All right, so all of those are higher starch, lower water content. Okay, next way to classify is by color. Colors actually indicate nutritional value in different foods, especially vegetables. And one of the things you can look at is the beta carotene content. Leafy green vegetables and actually yellow orange vegetables both are going to have a high beta carotene content. And that's important because beta carotene is converted into vitamin A in your body. Okay, so your answer for number 8 is leafy greens contain beta carotene, which your body changes into vitamin A. All right, last way that we classify veggies, and then we're going to break on this video. Families. This is actually not on your notes, but I do want you to understand. We don't go a lot into the scientific classifications of veggies, but cruciferous is an example of a family of veggies. Cruciferous is things like bok choy, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. A lot of your leafy greens would fall into a cruciferous family. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we will start on the next section.